Perfect. Well, we got Pipetastic up here. Not too much to say, I'd say, other than it came out recently, and it's a very fantastic game. I guess we can start timer on 3 again. So 1, 2, and 3.
Video games.
Video games.
So I played this game just to, be prepared for tonight. My experience with this is the most Rube Goldberg SMW mod I've ever seen.
That feels pretty accurate.
Just a bunch of moving parts, and you just have to, as a speedrun, be very good at memorizing like visual cues for, when to go in and out of the pipes. And yeah, it's pretty challenging, as a memory test in addition to as a Mario game.
Honestly, feels like a missed opportunity that they didn't use the Kiwi's Playhouse Breakfast Machine port that's on SMW Central for this game, because it's right there.
You'll notice, by the way, at the end of the first level, at the end of all the levels, but you've only seen the first one so far, you go into a pipe to exit the level and win. This is deeply unsettling as a Mario player who's been doing it for a long time, but we, just go along with it. But, yeah.
Normally, pipes at the end of sections induce dread in a lot of us, because typically there are horrible things waiting on the other side. So yeah, the complete change of pace of these pipes just letting you win is really counter to how we've been conditioned at this point in our fan gaming journey.
Also worth mentioning, all these pipes take you very quickly from one place to the next. So for most of these levels, it is very much blink and you'll miss it.
Be careful.
Shoutouts to G-Breeze.
Shoutouts to Layer 3 Tides.
That fish definitely wrecked my day many a times.
Very well-placed fish, for sure.
So in our last run, we talked a lot about how a lot of the custom aesthetics and everything often have to be done by hand or with custom code. I just want to, quick shout out the world map on this. It's very gorgeous. I have no idea who's responsible for it.
It's so good. Oh, yeah. Great work, Mega. It's great.
Yeah, Mega did phenomenal work. I know Kevin is also credited for the overworld, but I think Mega did most of the work from what I know.
I would assume Kevin probably did the some coding trickery, if I had to wager a guess.
I also appreciate that anytime you would get points from one of the shells, it just says pipe instead.
It's the small things.
It really is. It's the small details. I also feel like maybe this is an appropriate time to introduce the fourth gender of fan game. There's pre-Storks Kaizo, post-Storks Kaizo, Cape Kaizo, and Shell Kaizo, the fourth and final and most terrifying gender. This is definitely a shell game as much as it is a game about these fast pipes.
That ending is hilarious.
It's so good.
The second shell is so easy to miss.
I am just mesmerized by what's going on my screen right now, if I'm honest with you.
It's just so fast, and I really love how all the sections are only 30 seconds or so each, so you can really just blow through it if you're gaming.
And speaking of gaming and going fast, the world record in this game, I believe, got beaten today by Alyssa.
It did. It was 5:53, and now I got a 5:48. They're not a huge improvement, but improvements nonetheless.
Sub 6 is insane, so, gaming.
Gaming. We have another $5 from Turbo Gaming on that trans rights
donation tray, they simply say trans rights, exclamation mark. And we're working towards that bonus 1B task for Celeste. It's coming up next. We are almost $300 the way through it. We need 2,000 by the end of Celeste. So make sure to get those donations in and apply them towards the incentive. Y'all want to see that task. Trust me.
I feel like at this point it's important to shout out another important member of the SMW community, which is Mega Man X3 guitar samples.
That one caught me off guard.
I could pretend I know anything about samples and music in this game, but I never even played a Mega Man.
All right, and this is the last level, using a very cool, actually vanilla mechanic, where these eating blocks do very, very goofy things. I think the first level I ever saw that did wacky stuff with this vanilla mechanic was a world peace level in a very notorious game called Yump.
Yeah, for me it was Search for Salmon by GlitchCat7.
Oh, there is that salmon level. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. That level.
Fun fact, if you put the eating block through two other blocks that are stationary, it'll do wacky things because the SMW developers did not fully finish the table for what it should do when making the game.
Yeah, and depending on which direction and angle you smush them into those other blocks, they will either fly up, down, left, right, or like in very strange, unexpected zippy directions. And yeah, you can do a ton of this, a ton of really interesting things with it, and it's all completely vanilla, which is crazy. To get most things to move like that in a fan game requires a lot of coding, and this just requires knowing how to place blocks correctly in Lunar Magic.
I have an update for you all on the bonus task if you have time.
Please.
Yeah. We have $50 from Pitman Lionhouse, who says, Kaizo Mario runs are always a blast to watch. Truly a favorite among humans and lions alike in this house. Great runs, Alyssa. Now let's hit that Celeste incentive, shall we? Let's go. Less than 3. And then that, along with $200 from Anonymous, we're now a quarter of the way there for that bonus level 1B task. We're at $545 out of the $2,000 needed. Let's keep it up. Great work, everybody. Let's keep going. And we definitely want to see that bonus 1B task. So make sure to get those donations in if you want to see it.
If I can just be a gamer for just a moment, we'll be right through here. And the timer is not actually on the end of this level, it's actually going into the credits, which is just after this.
She retimed Superstar to end on the Reznor kill, but has to go to the credits for this one.
Hey,
I don't remember why the timing on Superstar is what it is. I was like, and there must have been a reason.
Because that's what you decided, if I remember right. I did runs before there was ever a leaderboard, because I was the only one silly enough to try to speedrun Superstar, and then you came along.
Yeah, the first Superstar speedruns were actually as part of a 12-hour challenge that Greg imposed on themselves.
That was a choice I made.
I mean, you got a really good time in 12 hours, in your defense.
Was that the time that you had before you just beat it recently?
No, I've incrementally worked the time down.
Okay. So I was gonna say that time would have been nuts in just 12 hours.
Oh yeah, no, that would have been silly.
I think it was a low 20 or something at the end of 12 hours, which is still wildly impressive.
Would anybody like to hear my Superstar story?
Please.
Yes, please.
I ran away to Germany because I fell in love with a German woman, and I played Superstar in a little town called Hofslash on bad internet, and then I ran away from Germany to New York City.
I do remember that.
It's just so easy to make such minor things that just throw you off.
Shells are not as consistent as they look when the shell level is going correctly. I think it's worth stating. There's always a little bit of variable speed and other factors that can force you to adjust on the fly in ways that you were not intending to. And so knowing how to improv and also being able to find the window to improv when your shells aren't going exactly the way you need them to is super, super difficult and a big hurdle for getting consistent at levels like this.
This level in particular has like a couple of different moving parts that the player is responsible for initiating, but if you do it slightly wrong or in a way that you need to adjust for, you might not see it for, 10 seconds and then have to realize it and make the adjustment at that time.
Yeah, these the moving blocks I'm standing on only move when I start the process, but the shells sometimes are started kind of automatically. So they're trying to time the blocks I control versus what the shells decide.
And whenever you have, it's like a disjointed, the variables are disjointed with when they get triggered. And as a player, it can be really hard to, like it's not as simple as like, oh, I did this jump too early. It's, I entered that pipe too early 15 seconds ago.
And made more complicated by the fact that for a lot of these jumps, oops, I did this jump too early or late doesn't mean that you're necessarily dead if you can improv on the fly enough to fix it. But then that also means that now you're off rhythm for everything coming after that, and you have to readjust again to get back on rhythm. So it's not just one little trick in isolation like Greg was saying, it's all like a butterfly effect.
And time.
GG.
GG, Alyssa.
Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and run through the credits. That's what that's called. And just say thank you so much just for, my couch here for Margot, Shovda, Greg. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you to both of your creators here, Margot and Random Type. Thank you to the whole SMW community, all the donators, to my wonderful partner keeping me inspired. And probably to a lot more people I'm not thinking of right now, but shout outs to everyone.
Thanks for having us. This was great. You did great.
Yeah, you crushed it, Alyssa.
Yeah, that was wonderful.
Amazing. Great job, Alyssa.